Hello everyone, my name is Mark Fennell, and today I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of humanity, the evolution of the human species in particular, as well as the evolution of our souls and the evolution of society. We are going through a transitionary period for each of these different things. And they have their own different methodologies of what's going on. There's a lot of people out there who have doom and gloom discussions. Some people are speculating negative consequences for all this. I'm going to give you my own understanding with my own direct connections with my metaphysical worlds, metaphysical partners, and the experiences that I know to be true. And primarily I'm going to talk about the human body evolution. Okay? Right now we are Homo sapiens. And we have been Homo sapiens for a long time. I don't know the exact year when Homo sapiens appeared. Was it 10,000 years ago? I'm really not sure. I don't know the day on that. But we've basically been Homo sapiens versus other precursor species. Okay? There have been various species that led us to Homo sapiens. And Homo sapiens and Neanderthals really are together. And Neanderthals, by the way, are actually highly intelligent. Neanderthals are actually highly intelligent and maybe even more intelligent than Homo sapiens. Okay, just to clarify that point. Okay? But in any case, we have the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens as the most evolved humans, and it's been that way for a long time. The DNA has essentially been the same. Evolved a little bit, but essentially been the same. We are going through a transition period where this is not the same. Okay? There are more and more people who are going into a new species, a new advanced human. And there are two phases. The first phase I like to call Homo Luminous. Homo Luminous, which means illuminated man. Illuminated man. The second phase will be what I call Homo Luminous, which means man of light. Man of light. Now, the Homo Luminous is a man who has advanced DNA as well as an advanced soul, and can therefore understand the world, physical and metaphysical, in a broader way. Okay? Previous men who've reached the Homo Luminous phase included Leonardo da Vinci and Nikola Tesla. Okay? They were Homo Luminous. Right? Some of the greatest men and women of the centuries have reached that point. But there have been very few. Very few. In recent times, there have been more and more of that. You look around, you see websites, you see groups where they call themselves indigos or other type of things. People talking about collective evolution, going to the fourth and fifth dimensions. These people are all in the Homo Luminous phase. Their DNA of their human body, combined with their advanced soul coming into the human body, knows what's out there. They can perceive what's out there. All right, as a soul, even if you're advanced soul, you still need your equipment to be able to access it. And even an advanced soul in a primitive body will not be able to access information. people with your advanced DNA as the Homo Luminous, the advanced soul in the Homo Luminous body can indeed understand a lot of different things. Now, when the majority of people become to this Homo Luminous phase, what's going to happen is the DNA of most people, they will naturally have abilities to perceive the world around them. They'll naturally perceive the metaphysical. They'll naturally have an inclination for good rather than evil and manipulation. They'll have more empathy. They'll have a greater intellect, not just a mathematical engineering intellect, but just a mind environment awareness intellect. An intellect that can perceive the relations among people in the environment, doing things more on instinct, an instinctive idea as well as logical information. All of that will come naturally to the Homo Luminous. Okay? Right now, there's about, I would say, 10% of the population is Homo Luminous. 10%. It will continue to grow. Now, here's the thing about the evolution. People wonder about, okay, like Darwin says, the survival of the species. That's once the evolution took place. But how did the change come about? Random DNA mutations? Sometimes. But more often, it is a specific DNA manipulation by higher spiritual beings. All right, let's make that clear. Okay? Let's make that clear. A lot of things can be contributed to random DNA, changes within a body of a different species, animals. But this one that's coming now with the Homo Luminous, and I also believe with the Homo sapiens and Neanderthals also, I believe that changed too, came from a higher being. Now what happens is they have this thing called activated DNA. I know this firsthand because my DNA has been activated. I've experienced the process and I know exactly what it's like. Okay? I've experienced the process from a metaphysical source and I know exactly what it's like, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think others have come in the same way. Now, but once the DNA has been activated, not only can you be activated, but when you and another activated partner have children, then their DNA will be activated. All right? And so on and so forth. So, that's what's going to happen. The metaphysical friends, beings, give us the activated DNA on a person-by-person basis. We then use it to enlighten ourselves, to understand the world. We find partners to associate with, to have children with. And those children will have children of those types of people. And in that way, the species will develop and grow from the Homo sapiens into the Homo Luminous. Okay? Now, 1,000 years from now, when 90% of the population is Homo Luminous, scholars will come back and say, when did this all take place? Where was the missing link? Let's go look back. Well, the missing link is right now. Okay? All right? Starting different degrees, about 1960, 1970, 1980. A few people here and there were born and their DNA was developed at a higher level. Their DNA was activated at certain points in their lives, and so on and so forth. So it started from them, here, there, bits, pieces, about the 1960s, 1970s, 2000s now. A lot more people have been activated. You see a lot more of that. So, but that's where when they look back in time, that's where the missing link period occurred. Okay? So, Homo Luminous is the term that I use, which means enlightened man. People who are far more spiritual, far more metaphysical, who have more connections with everything around them, and who also see the good, who seek good, rather than playing in manipulation and the evil constructs of society. Okay? The next phase is what I call Homo Luminous. Now, Homo Luminous to me is a man of light, or Homo Luminous is the illuminated man, the enlightened man, but still physical man. The Homo Luminous is completely different. Their DNA will enable them to be beings of light as well as physical beings. Okay? Homo Luminous will be able to transition from physical to ethereal and back to physical again. They can become light. They can return to their physical body. They can change their physical body. There'll be a number of different things that I can't even predict, but that's as far as I know it works. You will have the ability to do that. Okay? There was a story about Buddha, who was able to make himself disappear on one side of a river and appear on the other. If that story is true, and I don't know that it is, but if it is true, then that would make him one of the Homo Luminous. And if you have Jesus, they had stories of him walking on water. If that story is true, and I don't know that it is, but if it's true, that would make him Homo Luminous. Okay? I also happen to know from personal experience that there are beings out there that are pure light. Okay? Really bright light, pure energy. They are primarily our friends and mentors. So they are leading us towards that kind of state. Okay, they're kind of leading us towards that kind of state. Could be millions of years from now, I don't know, but they're leading us there. Okay? I'm not getting this from any sort of YouTube video. I'm not making a YouTube video, obviously, but you know what I mean? I'm getting it from the direct source. Me and them. Okay? There it is. Homo Luminous, next phase. Homo Luminous, the phase after that. Okay? Now I'm going to briefly touch on a couple different other topics. I'll make other videos about these, but I'll just touch on these. There's this thing called transhumanism, which I don't fully understand because, frankly, nobody has a consistent definition of it. But basically what I understand it to be is that humans are going to be turning into cyborgs, right? And some people are afraid of this. We're all going to turn to robots and the government's going to control us. No, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's just not going to happen. But we are transitioning. We are transitioning as a species. But we're not going to turn to robots. Trust me on that. That's not going to happen. So don't worry about being your brain planted in a robot. and other things. All right, that's just not the way it is, okay? So don't be afraid of this whole transhumanism Borg brain implant thing. All right, that's not going to happen. And even if some people are trying it, those of us who were in the Homo Luminous phase, we wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't allow it to ourselves, and we wouldn't allow it to happen. We'd knock their buildings down if it ever came to that. So it's not going to happen. The other thing is about society in general. Yes, society is going through a transition phase. No, this isn't the end of the world. No, this isn't the government wiping out the world or the Illuminati wanting to take over. No, it's not the coming of Christ. But what it is, it's the time of transition. And in fact, it's not just the Illuminati not taking over, it's the people taking over and finally destroying the corrupt leaders. Okay? So we have to go through this revolutionary period. It's going to last, for sure, another 20 years. Okay? There's going to be a lot more violence, a lot more corrupt people doing really bad things. But the thing is, the corrupt people are being exposed and they're running like rats. And because they're being exposed and they're afraid for their lives, they are clawing and doing everything they can to keep their positions of power. And of course, because they still have power and still have money, they're able to do things. They're able to blast negative stuff on the media. They're able to make false events. They're able to scare you. They're able to fund Antifa protesters. Don't feed in any of this. Don't feed in any of that. That's just the rats who are coming out afraid they're going to be destroyed. And they're fighting with everything they've got to maintain their position. All right? It's not the end of the world. It's actually the beginning of a new world. You've been complaining about the deep state. You've been complaining about the Rothschilds. You've been complaining about the banking system. You've been complaining about the Freemasons. Well, all right, now's the time. Now's the time. This is it. This is the time. This is the time. This is the time. And like it or not, you need to step up and be part of the revolution. I know you don't like fighting. I know you're a good soul and you don't want to do anything with violence or hatred, but now is the time. Now is the time. The corrupt people are being exposed. Things are being taken down one by one. Now is the time. Keep the momentum. Keep on it. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep taking down the corrupt people, because this is the time. If we don't see this opportunity now, they could regroup and hide away and rebuild themselves again. No, this is the time. This is the time to go out and do everything you can. It's your life right now. It's our lives right now. But I tell you what, your grandkids are going to be very pleased at the actions you've done to do that. Okay? So don't be afraid of the violence in the streets. Don't be afraid of that. It's going to get worse. But that's because it's funded by the evil, corrupt people fighting for themselves, fighting for their hold. But we are the majority now. Things are happening. Things are happening. Join any movement you can to take down the corrupt, to stand up where you can stand up, right? Whether it's just simple elections or posting on social media sites, this is it. This is the time. So don't be afraid of the society being in full revolution and civil war and violence in the streets. Don't be afraid of that. Instead, embrace it. Be on the right side of it. Because this is the time. The violence is being started by the corrupt people, not the good people. It's the corrupt people who are starting and keep doing the violence. But they're getting more violent because we got them on the run, and we're taking them down. Keep up the good fight. Don't be afraid of the violence in the street. Now's the time. In the past 500 years, in the past 100 years, in the past 50 years, there's never been a really opportunity for this to happen. This is the time. This is the opportunity. This is it. This is it. Okay? 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever this war takes, it's us against the corrupt, evil people, and we got them on the run. If we work together, we can wipe them out. We can make them a minority. We can make them insignificant. And guess what? In 25 years, when they're insignificant, imagine that. Then the people will be able to be the people themselves. Not run by the corrupt politicians, not run by the corporate bankers, not influenced by the negative media, but the people will be able to be themselves, and then we can interact as true selves. Okay? Our society can then flourish. In the meantime, of course, Homo Luminous will continue to develop. There'll be more people activated with their DNA. More of those activated people will be having kids. All right? So we'll be growing. They'll be pushed down. See? So we're in a transitionary period on all levels. You're part of it. You're part of it. And that's my story. Have a good day.